I think you may not be able to join in the same time, but we'll work it out on the evening or in the morning. I'll take the backup demo session for you. Is that okay? If that is okay. So today I was just focusing on covering the Fusion application. So yesterday I just introduced the Oracle application, how it looks like, and what is the UI looks like, and what are the normal features, common features that we see uh, uh, on the Fusion side compared to EPS, and then um, we have navigated through some screens. So it's the same like this yesterday. But we have not got into deeper into the application. But yesterday was the first time I just shown the application. But if
But
um,
is it possible, like you can conclude, not you can highlight like which all module you are
yeah,
going
yeah,
to cover?
I'll give you highlights of what we have.
Yeah,
So you're saying, sorry, I what are all the modules that we're covering, right?
yeah, yeah.
Okay. In EBS, these are called uh, modules, but in Fusion, these are called so so you will be we will be focusing on Oracle Fusion SCM function. So when we start the course, we'll be focusing on three things. One is like, what are the rules? Rules I just discussed yesterday that actually what are rules. So I just wanted to highlight that this class as well. But what I'll do is I'll just take a recap of what we have discussed. So Fusion. Let me just highlight actually what would be on the road. So in EBS, like we have users and responsibilities, and then we have we'll assign the responsibilities. But if we wanted to have a menu on a particular responsibility, then we'll include the menu in that responsibility. But Fusion, if there is a multi-org concept actually. So if I wanted to see something and I may not be able to see something, but in Fusion actually what happens is everything works on a role-based access control, RAB. So what I'll do is precise. I will just go to the application and I'll show you how it looks like. So we discussed something about uh, how the cloud architecture looks like on the first class. So I'm just jumping into the topic slightly. I just deviated into the topic. We will discuss about the uh, role-based access control. But in Fusion, if you say that actually Fusion is an on-premises application, on-premises in the sense, in my office, I have a server, and then I will deploy the Fusion application on a server, and the server is connected to different users, multiple users. Okay, uh, it could be laptop, mobile, or this. Okay, and these are connected through a server, and then these guys will be able to access the applications only through the server. But everything that you do, this is connected to a network, and there is a firewall, and there is a hardware that is installed on it, and there is a software. And then, so you will see uh, this environment in front of you. Everyone who is working on this IT side, like DBS, network engineers, IT hardware engineers, and the server maintenance engineer, everyone will be in front of you, working in front of you. But unlike Fusion, Fusion is not a on-premises application. It is a cloud-hosted application. Say, for example, we have Google Cloud, we have AWS Cloud, we have Azure Cloud, and we have some other players, small players in the market. Okay, and then when the Fusion applications is hosted in one of the service providers. Like I said, we have so many service providers, right? Google Cloud, Azure, and AWS. These are the service providers who has data center. So how does a data center look like? A data center is a massive place, massive area where all the servers are maintained. Okay, let me just query what is a data. So even Oracle has a data center, Azure has a data center, Google has a data center. Let me just, since we are discussing on Oracle, let's see Oracle data center in India. So Oracle has a massive data center in India. They have data centers in two places. And all the customers who are working on Oracle Fusion applications, who have implemented Oracle Fusion applications, they will be hosted on the data centers which are in these two centers. Okay, there will be no one. You will be seeing no one in your premises. You will only have application link, and you as a user, you will have a role, and for this role, you have a username and a password. So when you put key in your username and password in the uh, application, SaaS application, then you will be able to enter into it. And based on your role, you will be able to see what offerings, like what transactions you can do and what menus they have given you based on your role, duties, and functions. Okay. So when you talk about role, so I say, what is a role? So what is your role? Say, for example, I am a manager, okay? Or I am a chef in a hotel. Okay? So I'm not taking an example of a manager. My role is a chef in a hotel. Okay. And then my duty is I am a chef for South Indian dishes. So I will like just take this. Okay. So I'll prepare all the South Indian recipes. Okay. This is my duty. And what are the functions inside the duty? So I will be able to do healthy recipe. I will not check the quality of the food. My duty is only to make it. Then I will also on demand basis. I will sit for overtime. Okay, doing the doing the Another one is I will also prepare two smoothies. So as a chef, these are my functions. So what we discussed about a role, what is my role name, what is my duty, this is my duty, and this is my function. The same way, if I take a role as a manager for which department? I am a manager for purchasing department. And then what are my functions? So what I'm a manager and my duty is purchasing. My duty role is purchasing. What are my duties? I do purchasing for a large from a large supplier. And then what are my functions? I will be able to create requisitions. So request for small items or a stationery in the office, or I can also raise a requisition for laptops for an employee who has newly joined, and then I can do that as a purchasing in the purchasing department, and then I will not be able to approve the requisition, but but I can edit, modify the requisition, and then I will create purchase orders. Not approve purchase order. Okay. But if I'm a senior manager, if I put as this guy as a senior manager, then I can approve the purchase order.
Can I ask one question here?
Yes, please.
Yeah. So, we have defined it like a senior manager is a position,
Correct.
correct?
Correct.
And then duty role is purchasing for a large supplier.
Correct.
So, let's say if I have assigned, I have created one user, and let's say
Mhm.
it's IT dot senior manager, whatever so then we
Mhm.
have to assign both role, like one manager role also we have to assign, and then duty role, that both role need to be assigned.
If we want to approve,
Okay. Okay. If I want to give both roles creation and
you can,
approval, then both
you
role
can,
need to be given
yeah, a user can have n number of roles.
role.
Yes, but in a real time scenario, you will
Hmm.
be having the roles only pertaining to the purchasing. Okay.
Correct. Correct.
But
Yes.
I will not want it, it's being a senior manager, do not want it to view an invoice and approve an invoice. That will
Hmm.
not be a real time scenario, right? The guy
Correct.
who is
Correct.
working in a finance department will approve invoices. Okay, what is the invoice
Okay.
total, and if he wanted to approve, he can approve. He can create invoices as well. Okay, so this part is clear because roles are assigned to users. Users are given based on their nature of the duty in the company. Like there are so many departments, right? Finance department, purchasing, manufacturing. There are so many departments, HR and sales. customer service. So there are so many departments. So all these departments, people will be working. Okay. So you will be as a consultant, you will only do the setups for users. You will do the setups in the Fusion, and then users will be able to do the transactions on the setups that you do on the offering. Like if you are doing a configuration setups for purchasing, and then the guy who is working as in the purchasing department, then they will be able to um, this is like I said, manager will be able to sign in with the user credentials, and he will be able to create the requisitions and purchase orders, and you can approve and we can modify it. Okay. So um, like like I said, role based access control is actually on it's so important in Fusion applications that actually the users can do the transactions. Okay. And as a consultant, you will be only doing the setups. So there is a setup in Fusion. So like we call it as, say that transactional data or a pillar data, like, or we can call it as a setup data or configuration. So when you implement Oracle Fusion applications, okay. So when you do as a consultant, you will go to the client and you will be sitting with them, and you will talk to them and take the requirements and study their as is, study their current business baseline, and then you will document everything. How is their purchase process? How is their receiving process? How is their invoicing process? How are they managing or adjusting the inventory items? How are they moving the stock? And what is the movement of stock? The types of movement of stocks they do: sub inventory transfer, miscellaneous transfer, intercompany transfer, and then what are the adjustments they are doing: physical count, cycle count, and what are the um, planning activities they are managing for the item. So you do all these things and you set up as a as a as a business analyst or a consultant. You go and you study that baseline and then you document it. And based on the understanding requirement, you will document it and then you will configure that on the system. So once you document and then you send this document to the stakeholders, and then you get a sign off that actually this is what actually we understood from the sessions that we have met, and then I wanted to confirm this, that actually our understanding is correct, and then we are requesting you to give a sign off for this. And once you get the sign off, then you will present them the development activities, how you will take this configuration setups, and they you will take some pillar data from each of every module or every department. Like purchasing, you will take their sample suppliers, and then catalogs or categories, and then you will take some items, and then you will start creating doing the configuration setups, and you will create some transactions, and then you will ask them to come into a meeting which is called CRP. And when you go to get into the CRP, you will show them that actually, boss, how your fusion your business is going to look like when the fusion application is going to get implemented. And once it is implemented, this is how you create a requisition, this is how you create a purchase order. Okay. And and role based access control is something actually that is given to the users who have a certain set of roles based on their duties and functionalities. Okay. So is this clear up to this part? And then I will show you how a role-based access control will look like in a fusion. Okay. So up until this part, are we clear, or you have any questions?
Yeah, it's okay as of now for me.
Okay. So we have setups, configurations. We have setups and configurations, or we have pillar data, and we have something called as let's say it as a. So once you do the setups, someone will do the transactions based on the configuration setups you do, and someone will view based on the transactions how many purchase orders have we created today, and how many have been sent to the supplier, and how many the supplier responded. Did the supplier receive the purchase orders as an acknowledgement? Did we get the acknowledgement that is received? And then how many, once he received the purchase orders, is he sending the goods or the items? And what will be the tentative date? And how many we already have received the goods from the suppliers for what purchase orders? And how many did we return? So we got the goods and actually there were some damages, and then we have done the vendor returns. Okay. And then all these can be captured in a report. And we have something called as dashboards. Okay. So we have a beautiful way that we capture all this data, report data in a dashboard. So it's kind of analytical dashboard. Okay. So these things that we are going to see, and then let us go and open the Oracle application. You know. So did I cover this part yesterday? Okay, if anyone wants to hear this, I'm happy to. I'm just parking this topic aside, and then we'll come back when I complete showing this role-based access control. Okay, is that okay?
Yes. Are you also covering supply chain planning in this course?
No, not in this session.
Not in this means in the course, not in session. Entire
No. Entire course, no. I will not be able to see the supply chain planning, but I can cover few topics related when we discuss inventory, and then we have a planning like min-max planning and all this stuff. Okay.
And what about the core manufacturing?
Manufacturing, no, I'll not be covering manufacturing. Manufacturing, if you wanted to learn, you can learn a separate session.
Okay.
Okay, just give me a minute. I am having a bit of a challenge in this application. I'll just see. Okay. So once we log in with the username and password, okay. So what I'll do is I open this. I'll open this on the edge, the same application. So Fusion application can be used in any of the browsers. It's just a URL that you get it, and then you can use any of the browsers: Microsoft Edge, Mozilla Firefox, or Google Chrome, or this one, Opera, or any of the browser. Okay, so it's just a browser-based application, you just have to copy the URL. So in the real time, you will be having you will be given uh, instances. Okay, so these instances are called the fusion instance. So your production instance, the staging instance, your development instance, then have a UAT. If you want more instances, you can have more instances. Okay? So what is an instance? Say for example, I'll take this same example. So the same URL that I given you. Copy the same instance here. So instead of dev 79, I'll put PR. Okay. Say this. The address will be different. So you will have different links like this to access your application. Okay. So you will use this for your, so all your configuration setups and everything, you will do it in uh, the development. Okay. And staging instance is something, if your Fusion instance is integrated with any of the upstream or the downstream system. So what do you mean by upstream and a downstream system? Okay. So say for example, Fusion, Oracle Fusion is the middle. Oracle Fusion SCM is in the middle. Okay. So what I'll do is I will use a third-party application where my data comes into the Fusion application. Okay. Say for example, uh, I'm using a software called Quad. Let us take Quad or Salesforce or SAP or any other software. So what I'm doing is I am booking the sales orders here. Okay. So as a customer, I walk into a store uh, and then I wanted to order up some products. What I'll do is I will give them the order, and then they will create on the system they have, the SAP Salesforce, the system they have, they create the sales order. They take my number, address, and the delivery address, and my contact details, and my my bank account details, and everything. So I'll just pay them. They will create a sales order, and once the sales order is created in the front end, this sales order will um, straight away, it will not come into the Oracle application. What it will do is it will go into staging. Staging is a temporary place where I'll give you another simple example. So I'm talking to a Chinese. I know English. Chinese doesn't speak English. Okay, and the Englishman doesn't speak So we met in a business conference and we wanted to know about their business and I wanted to know about his business. Okay. So we want to talk to each other, but whatever we talk is he thinks that actually I'm talking gibberish. And this guy, the Englishman also thinks that actually I'm talking gibberish. But there is a middleman. Okay. There is a translator. Okay. Who can speak both English and Chinese. So my job it becomes very easy. Whatever he speaks, the translator will take and he will understand it and then he will translate that to the Englishman. Okay. The same way Englishman, whatever he speaks, he will understand it and he will translate it to the same way here. Salesforce is in a different language. It's a Chinese language and Oracle is in an English language. They can't talk to each other, but the data should go into a stage where the stage will understand both the languages and interface the data from Oracle to Salesforce and Salesforce to Oracle. Okay. So that is the reason why we have a stage instance where the integration takes place. Is it clear? Do you have any questions?
Uh, So,
I'm not
what I understood from the upstream and downstream means the from the means the system from where data is coming to
going
the fusion
coming to
is
Oracle and
upstream.
from Oracle it goes to another system.
That will downstream.
That is downstream. Correct. You are absolutely correct.
Okay,
And these are called
understood.
the peripheral systems which are connected to Oracle system. Okay.
Okay, good.
So anyone has any questions? Yeah, I'm happy to take up to until this part. Okay. So let me go and log in into the Oracle application. So once I log in into the Oracle applications, okay, there is an area where this IT security manager will create the users. Okay. So the IT security manager is a role where he can create users there. Okay. So let me just go to the, so when you go to, so this is the Oracle, just, give you a um, uh, overview of how it looks like once you log in. And this is called the home page. And this is called the springboard. And we can call it as infolets. And then under the infolets, we have info types, which is basically your work area, which is called as a task list. Okay. So what are the activities that you perform under each info tile? That when you click on that and you will get a task on it. Okay. Say for example, I'm just clicking on for procurement. Procurement is here purchasing. I'll just click on the this info tile purchase requisitions. So what all I can do in the purchase requisitions, I will see here on my task list. Okay, on the right hand side, you will see your task list. Okay, so this is again, it's based on your role. Okay, so when we are talking about roles, right? Once, so I am in a specific business unit. Business unit is my one of my operating like a region where I am an employee, and but actually I am not assigned to this particular region where I do purchases. Okay. So when I am not able to, when I'm not assigned to this particular, my role is not assigned to this particular business unit. Say, for example, in India, we have four regions in north, south, west, and east. Okay. I belong to South India. And then I in the system, South India is one business unit. Say, for example, Tata, Reliance, or Chroma, or whatever it is. So in a Tata enterprise, so there is one business unit in the south. So that is called South Business Unit. And then if I wanted to do some transactions in the South business unit. I want to raise a purchase requisition in the South business unit. And then when I am when I log into the system and I want to try to access a purchase requisition, it says that it is just scolding me. Boss, you are not assigned to this South business unit. How can you create a requisition? Okay. So I will not be able to, it will not allow you to go into that particular offering. Okay. So what I'll do is I need to assign this role to a particular uh, uh, offering, and then I'll be able to access this application. Okay. Let me see. Just simple example. Let me see if I can access something else. Uh, so I'll go to the product management and see if I can access. So I'll just go to product management and I will go to the PIM, product information management. This is where typically we create items. Okay. And this is an infolet and this is my info tiles. And then when you click on the product information manager, product information management, you see how many item categories are already assigned. You see these beautiful design analytical dashboards. I spoke about the analytical dashboard. So when you see this analytical dashboard, you will see what is the publication status, how many items we have created, how many item classes we have created, catalogs we have created, what are the trading partner items. So how an item journey goes. So happens is when item is how the item is created in Oracle application is um, you will be basically an R&D team uh, in a company. Say for example, Mahindra Motors, so Tata Motors. Okay, they the R&D team will come with an idea. So that idea will be captured. That actually I wanted to design a beautiful car, a beautiful SUV. Then this idea will be captured in a document. This is called a design document. When this design document is prepared, a team actually, and a team is the design document, the design team head will approve this design. And then after he approves this design, they will build a prototype of that car. Once the prototype is built, someone from the team will test it. And once the testing is done, they will start the production. Okay. So this is how an item journey. So in the same way, in Oracle applications also, how the item is created. So this is the publication status. How many is publications to understand actually how many we have created. Okay, let me go to the work area. Okay, so this is my work area and this is my task list where I can just create an item. Okay. So
Sir, good morning, sir. Actually, I have one basic question.
yes, please.
Uh, so, sir, like you mentioned, uh, we we say offering, right? Right. What
Which one?
uh, uh, we say offering, like
Offering.
whatever we
Correct.
offering, yeah,
Offerings. Correct. Yes. Yes.
yeah, like whatever we called responsibility in EBS, right?
Modules and
Uh,
EBS. Correct. Yes.
yeah, yeah, sorry, module.
Yeah.
So, you explain like we do everything like role based, right?
Correct. Correct. Correct.
So, but in EBS generally we assign responsibility directly to system administrator. For example, like I'm working manufacturing module, so I assign bills of material and working process responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so Like here you explaining everything like we need to add the row. So
Correct.
these offering already available in Fusion instance, or we
Yes,
also need to do anything.
there are custom roles, and we can assign a custom role, and we can assign a Oracle standard roles that we are already there in the Oracle product pre-built library. Okay, so one can choose. So based on this their study, the Oracle has implemented so many applications in or so many customers, right? Based on the nature of that particular duty, that role, so they have created custom roles. Okay, so in Oracle, we have standard, and we can also create a custom role based on your business requirement. Does that answer your question?
Yes, yes. Actually, I just wanted to know, like, how can we, is there any way to assign this offering in Fusion?
Yes,
So,
we do that. Do an implementation project. How the this first we will just talk about how the user is created, and then once the roles are assigned to the user, then we will start assigning the offerings to the user, and then we will do the configuration setup, which is called a functional setup manager. So in EBS we call it as setups, configuration setups, but actually we go to a so in EBS we have something called as pillar data and a setup. Okay, so all the top part will be in the menu, navigation menu. All the top part will be your transactions, and the down part will be your setups. The same way, if you go to the Fusion applications, you go to this place where you see the functional setup manager. This is called the setup and maintenance, where you do all the setups, configuration setups. Okay. Okay, where are we? We are discussing about the users, right? So creation of
Hmm.
users. Okay, there is a one guy who can do all these things. IT security manager. Let me go to the tools, and then you can go to the security console. So when you go to the security console, so let me just so you see this all these things: users, roles, analytics, certificates, user categories, and all this stuff. Okay. So when I click on user categories, when I click on the user categories, so in the user categories, what I should have in the user categories. Okay, so let's if I edit this one. So while logging into the system, how I should generate the username, whether I should use an email or a first name, last name, or a person or a party name. Okay. So how do you want to do? When I logged in with this user, right? HAL. You remember this? I logged in with this user, HAL. Okay, we'll see that what user I logged in. Okay. And then how you want to, this is a username generation rule. How do you want to generate the username while logging into the system? Whether you wanted to use first name or last name, so Ravi, then your surname, or you wanted to use your username. Okay. So this is how you do it. And then password policy. So how you wanted to put the password policy in your system, okay, for your username. So days you can set it up for how many days, and then before expiring it will give you a warning message. And then what is the complexity of your user? How do you create the user? Whether you wanted to do your simple passwords or a complex passwords or a custom passwords. Okay, so I'll just put very complex, and you see here it will change. Minimum characters 8, uppercase 1 2 3 4. Okay, so if I go to simple, you see it will only ask for minimum characters 8 and then 1 digit. If I take a complex, so it will see that each that one character should be uppercase in the password. Okay, so this is how you set up your uh, password policy. And notifications, generally you will get a notifications on your icon. Here your bell icon. and this is where you get your notifications. Okay, so notification templates you can use. Forgot username template, or if you forget something, then it will ask you. It will give you a notification that actually how to reset your password. And what are the things actually that you can do while you forget your password. And there are so many things that you can see it here. And if you go to users, so these are all the users that already there. And these are all the user login name is this one, and display name is this one, and they have used the password as their login name. Okay, so this is how you set your user categories. Okay, and then when you go to the users, let me just click on OK. When you go to the users, I'll just go back. This page looks a bit different. Let me just go. Security rules. Then go to the setting. You will see the roles, users. Click on the users on the left hand side. Then you put your name. You can say search. That is the username I just currently connected. And you see they use this is a username, and if you see this is a blue color highlighted hyperlink kind of thing, and if you click on this, you will see the user information and the password expiry. And if you see here, you see roles. So this user is currently assigned with all these roles. He has application implementation administrator role, and these are all the seeded roles that Oracle is already given these roles. Okay, they have already prepared these roles: budget analyst, budget manager. Okay, so all these roles. Okay, so if I select one role in this, and then if I query this role, and I can able to see that actually what are his duties and what are his functions. Okay, so say for example, I'll take financial analyst or general accountant role. Okay, for this user, it's already these are the assigned roles. Okay, now if I wanted to see what are the role, what is the role, and then and what are the functions in it and duties in it. Okay, so I'll just click on the roles, and then I'll go and search for the general account. The general accountant, this one. Okay, so you need to select see any role which is ORA. You see this one? Are you able to see this? Any role which is ORA is a seeded role. Okay, so that is an Oracle standard role. Click on that one, and then you see if you go to the privileges. So what privileges he has in this role? You see, he can create a financial statement. He can define a Fusion General Ledger evaluation. He can import budget amount. So these are all the privileges that he has got, the functions he has got in that duties. Okay. So are you able to understand what I'm talking, or like you have any confusion? So I'll just go to a procurement role. Procurement application administrator. So he can do all these things. He can configure requisition business for a business function. He can assign the roles. He can create a new supplier and all this stuff. Okay.
And whatever he is showing privilege name, So
Yes,
these are seeded one, right?
correct, correct. So whatever
Okay.
whatever I query here, if you see anything which starts with the aura, you see the code,
Yeah.
you see the code here,
Mm-hmm.
anything which is called starts with aura, ORA, then that is called a seeded role that is already there in the system, and these privileges are assigned to this role. Okay.
Yes, yes. No, actually, I'm asking, privilege name is always seeded one, or we can also create on privilege.
No, no, we can create a privilege one. Okay. If I wanted to drop anything from here, I can drop it.
Mm-hmm.
Say, for example, I will not allow this particular role to assign to create a new supplier. Okay. Rest all he will be able to do it, but I can just remove this um, uh, this particular privilege from his role. Okay. I can do it,
Okay. So
but
can we create new privilege?
yes, we can create new privilege as well for your custom. So you see here, when some you see here something
That is
create.
role, right?
No.
This
Create
is.
when you create a role,
Mm.
I can create a new privilege for him as well, and he can all for the existing one. He can create a privilege and he can drop a privilege from the existing one
Oh,
based on the business needs. Okay, but
So one question here.
that needs an approval. Yeah, Harinder, you were asking something, right? Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, when you are saying the privilege name, that is a kind of screen which creates the like a requisition, or the screen which create new supplier number,
Yeah, so you
or
will when you
what is
see
that?
yeah, I'll just tell you. Okay, I'll just tell you that. I'll answer your question, and when I show you that, you will be easily able to understand. Okay, so let me just go to a product management. Then I go to the product information management, and then if I go, so in the roles, you say that actually he cannot create. So from this list, he cannot browse items. Okay, I'm just taking an example, just a normal example. This shouldn't be a case, but if I wanted to drop anything from the privilege, if I drop this, there is a privilege for this role, and in this role, do not want this guy to browse an item. Okay, that is the privilege. Okay, so when I drop it, when I open the task list, he will not be able to see this here. You understood what I'm saying?
Okay, so basically privilege is the screen name, right? Which
Correct.
we
It's
are
it's
seeing
basically
in.
your yes, basically your screen, your task, whatever the tasks that are there on your work area task list, that you will not be able to see it. But you are just masking it, you are hiding it. That's it for that customer. It is not completely you are removing from the offering, but for your role, for
Mhm.
that particular role, you will not be able to see it because it will be in the hidden status when the privilege is dropped for you, especially for that role.
Okay.
So if I compare it with EBS, so I can say privilege is a menu or sub menu kind of thing.
Yes, you can take it as a menu.
Okay.
Yes, you can take it as a menu. So that menu itself is not gone. It's completely gone. You will not be able to see it. Okay, any questions related to this one? So what I'll do is I'll just go quickly and just in the interest of time, I'll just go there and then I'll go here. I hope this is clear, but actually I'll just go there and just show you how we create a user and all this. There's a difference between uh, uh, implementation user uh, or uh, IT security user. Okay, so I just wanted to show you that. So there are two types of users. I want to discuss that in a brief. One is a user which is called a legal user. A legal user is always an employee. He should be defined as an employee, and who is always an employee. So when you define him as an employee, he is entitled to receive a salary and he will have a position. Okay. And he will as per the company policies, is entitled to everything. When I say an IT security user and a illegal user will be able to do all the functions that are assigned to him in that organization. But when I say a security user, a user which is created by, I'll come to this point. User which is created with a security user, he will not be an employee. He is not an employee. So employee means actually he cannot get a salary. Okay. So another part is this is very, very important. The legal user can only create an implementation project in Fusion applications. Means he will be able to create and configure your business application, your application offerings to the business. Okay. For implementation project, he will be able to create an implementation project in Fusion application. But whereas a security user cannot create it. So what is the difference? I'll show. I'll just quickly complete this in another 10 minutes and then we'll wind up the session. Okay, so let me go to again. I'm going to the home page and then you have this navigator and this is a setup navigator. Okay, the functional setup manager navigator. This is a user menu and this is a offering menu. Okay, and then I'll go to the navigator and then I'll go to the tools and security console. And then what I'll do is I'll try to create a user. So when I click on add account, add user account. So I'll just user category as default. So I'll not put anything here. I'll just select. So create service name. What's your okay? I just put Ravi Kumar or
Kumar.
something. Yeah, I just randomly said Ravi Kumar, but it happened to be your name. I didn't know your name. Yeah, okay, last name. Okay, Ravi Kumar, and this I put just Ravi Kumar. So it has it has it has taken the username as Ravi Kumar based on the I've shown you, right, the user categories. In the user categories, whatever the format that you choose, that will be coming here. Okay, if you choose that as your email address, the email address will come here, username. So I'll just put password as someone. Okay. And you see here there are no roles for the new user now. Okay, but if I wanted to add a role here, I can add a role here. Okay, so I'll just save this. Okay, what I'll do is, you want me to create that? Okay, so I'll just add and remove roles. By that, you will be able to understand. Okay, so I'll log in with this user and then see how it goes. Okay, so I'll just save this. So it is not allowing me with this password. So is here, your password must contain at least one uppercase. Okay, so that is the reason it's not allowed. So what I'll do is I'll just put them. So this is the user category setups that actually you just we have just come across. So we need to do that. This setups there. Okay. I'll just save. It is again not allowing. So I just put it as very complex. You see here, very complex. It should have 8 characters, one uppercase, one number, and a one special character. So in that case, I'll just put welcome at the rate 123 dot. Yeah, so now it is allowing. So I just put that actually, it is very complex. Okay. So let me just open the link and then I'll just put this link there. And then I'll try to, okay, it will take me to the same page, right? Okay, let me log out. Then I'll just, so it will ask me the confirmation. So I'll log in with Ravi Kumar, Ravi.Kumar. Then I'll just put. So I logged in and you see any offerings in the Springboard for a new user, Ravi Kumar? You see here, Ravi Kumar, right? I logged in as Ravi Kumar. You see any offerings here? And then when I go to the security console, okay, so I'll go to tools. And do you see this security console in my tools? No, right?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, you cannot see it. Okay. So what I'll do is again I log out and then confirm. I'll log in back again with HL, my username. I'll go back. Then I'll go to the security console, tools, security console. You see, for my user, it has everything because I have offerings. And then in the security console, if you go tools and security, I can see the security console. So go to the security console and then I will search my user. I'll just click on user. I will search my user. Ravi Kumar, right? Ravi.Kumar. Then I'll just click on search and then I'll click on Ravi Kumar. And I wanted to, so I go add a role, go to edit, and then I will add a role called IT security manager. This is Oracle. This is Oracle standard seeded role. I'll then assign him IT security manager. So always select the first one and then click on add role to member and then click on done and save and close. Okay. Now done. Now you go to I sign out. Now I'll go to Ravi's username. Then I'll just click on sign in. And then when I see risk management is added here. Okay. And if I see here, I see the security console. So this is on the info tiles and the infolets on the home page. But let me navigate through the navigator. Okay, I'll just go and see. You see here, you see the security console here. So this is being added because it came along with your role. When you assign this role, you will be able to see what are all the functions and the duties that are there, the privileges that we spoke, right? That we can see here. So IT security manager role, whatever it is assigned, that role is only to change the passwords and to change the categories, user categories, the password type, and all the fashion and all in it. And then he will be able to change the anything on the user, but he will not be able to do create a implementation project. Okay, so he'll not be able to do an implementation project. So Ravi Kumar, if I see on the right hand side, you see, can you see the user? Do you see the setup here?
No.
No,
No.
you will not be able to see the setup. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll go to the security. So now you have the security console. You can add roles to your user. Okay, okay, 1 minute. Let me just go back. Okay, I need to log in again. So now I'll go to the security console, and then so there is a program that actually scheduled. There is this program which is already scheduled, which runs every 24 hours. So it is saying that that this program should be. So this is called scheduled processes. In EBS, it is called a concurrent program, but here it is called a scheduled processes. Okay, I'll just show you that. So let me go to the user menu. Sorry, and the tools and the IT security manager. So we were talking about assigning roles to Ravi, right? And we have not. I just wanted to show you that you do not have this application functional setup manager setups, right? So what I'll do is I'll sorry, I'll just click on Ravi Kumar, and I'll add him another role which is called application implementation consultant. Okay. So I'll add this role, application implementation consultant or ASM. Okay. So I'll just add this role. I'll add that to the role membership and just click on done. Save it. Click on done. So what I'll do is it's always a good thing to sign out and come back to see the changes. I'll just log in again. And then if you go to Ravi Kumar, that user menu, you see that here, you see that setup and maintenance here. Okay. Yeah, you see all the offerings are already assigned. Okay, you see when I say such setup and go to the, so you see there are already so many offerings that are assigned to it. Application implementation consultant role. Okay, so you Fusion is typically driven by Fusion privileges are typically driven by the roles. Okay, so everything in Fusion is a role-based access control. Okay, when you assign that particular role, you will be able to get that privilege. So until this part, I'm just stopping my share. I see a lot of messages. I did not pay attention to. What says? Who is Namrata here? Okay, CPH. Someone has joined. CPH. Don't know.